We are a small but mighty channel. We've got 90 people watching right now.
Yeah, hit the like button. Consider subscribing. Hey, were we going to mention the fact that the issue with Panama that we should all be aware of is it has nothing to do with Panama and everything to do with China?
Of course. We're going to save that because we've got a clip from our good friend James Lee about the TikTok. Because that's the thing.
People do not be misled that Panama has anything to do with Panama.
No, we're going to talk about the TikTok ban in a minute. Of course, how that's already been wiped. Shocking. So Wanker Tanker, good name, $5. Thank you so much. Have some dough to make your channel go. P.S. End apartheid in ethno states everywhere. We agree. Yalabite, $2. Thank you so much. Democrats better start talking about the oligarchy. Fat chance they are owned by the oligarchy. Yalabite, $4.99. Thank you so much. If Democrats want to deliver to minorities, they need action instead of the fake diversity tokenism we see, which is why the GOP uses DEI as a weapon. That's correct. You know who they didn't use DEI as a weapon against? Bernie Sanders. Imagine that. Imagine why they wouldn't. Mark J., thank you so much for the $5. Thank you for this fine channel. Thank you for being here. So sad that the criminal dog torturer was pardoned. Well spoken, Pete, about this criminal. I appreciate you, my friend.
Who's the criminal dog? Who's a dog torturer? Who are we talking about?
Criminal dog torturer. Mark, put that in the chat. I'm, for some reason that's not jumping at me at the moment. Wanker Tanker again, $5. Thank you so much. How can someone be pardoned for something they've not been found guilty of? It's because they are guilty. They just haven't been convicted yet.
Right. He's premeditatively pardoning them in anticipation of there being a prosecution. That's how disgusting this is. They know that they're guilty of something, and this way they won't have to be accountable for it. It's like a presumptive pardon, if you will. We're entering an entirely new territory of premeditative corruption now. It's insanity. Now we're not just pardoning corrupt pieces of shit. We're premeditatively.
Big shout out to Martin for becoming a YouTube member. We are getting a new YouTube member. It seems every show now. So I'm digging it.
It helps. It all helps, guys. It really does. I'm very appreciative.
So for those of you who were paying attention over the weekend, I've said many times, I think that Dave Chappelle is one of the great, not just comedians, but great commentators of our time. He's certainly, if anybody is truly channeling, there's not a lot of people that truly channel Carlin.
He's up. Yeah, I think Chappelle's pretty,
So Dave Chappelle hosted SNL on Saturday night. And here's what he had to say about Palestine.
In Israel, a book of his was released, and its title was very controversial in Israel. And the title of the book was Palestine.
He's talking about Jimmy Carter.
Not apartheid. And while he was there, Jimmy Carter said, I want to go to the Palestinian territory. I will never forget the images of a former American president walking with little to no security while thousands of Palestinians were cheering him on. And when I saw that picture, it brought tears to my eyes. I said, I don't know if that's a good president, but that right there, I am sure is a great man. It made me feel very proud. So Donald Trump, I know you watch the show, please do better next time. Do not forget your humanity, and please have empathy for displaced people, whether they're in the Palisades or Palestine. Thank you very much, and good night.
Yeah.
So as it turns out, it appears that Israel has already violated the ceasefire agreement.
I don't know why we bother to make agreements with people that have no honor, and I've said it a million times, people, how do you know Israel is lying? Its lips are moving.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
That they're moving and they're
you can't trust them no matter what. That's why I was saying all along, it doesn't matter if you have a ceasefire. They will not honor it. You could have whatever you want to have, but they're not going to honor it. But please continue with telling us how disgusting Israel is.
Well, the other thing about Chappelle, which I think is very telling, is that he had a very long monologue and he said what needed to be said. But also, I wonder if SNL has come to terms with the realities of the direction that they took their show for a number of years. Have they already come to the realization that the anti-Trumpism or the over-wokeism and all of that did not, actually serve.
There it is.
For their benefit. Maybe not. Maybe it's strictly a business decision. But I would say that even just a year ago, or frankly, not even a year ago, even just a few months ago, would SNL have even dared to have Chappelle on to make such a statement, knowing what Biden and Harris basically were doing?
You're assuming that they knew what he was going to say.
That's fair too.
Chappelle he's not going to kowtow to anybody. So he's going to say what he's going to say. So I don't know how much control you have over someone like that.
No, but I would assume that they knew that Chappelle was going to definitely bring in the ratings. And so they basically rolled the dice.
Well,
we're going to let him say what he was going to say, because there's no way he's
just them having him on is at this time is somewhat, it's taking that risk. But yeah, I mean, they wouldn't have been able to do that even 3 years ago.
So our good friends over at Punch Up Pod said Biden's 40-year career.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why, because he's only been there for 4 years. So, you really have to compare apples to apples.
Hey, listen, in terms of
W was horrible, but here's the other thing. I would suggest that the majority of what W did that was really horrible was never his brainchild. He didn't think of it. He didn't know of it. He was just the person there. Whereas Biden, like what Lila's saying, has spent his entire career as the brainchild of some of the worst policies that we've had in this country that have hurt people. So that's the difference. W is just, come on. That was just Cheney and Rove in a puppet suit. Whereas Biden, he's been an architect of a lot of really horrible shit for his career.
Yep.
So he is, he's horrible.
No, and I do think that Biden is, like I said, I think his legacy is going to be absolutely horrific.
Good. I will make sure to be making sure that at least throughout my lifetime, that history is properly recorded.
John, we'll do that on Thursday. I'll pull that up. Apparently, this interview that Lawrence O'Donnell did with Joe Biden was so freaking horrible.
When did it come out?
Like a few days ago.
Interesting.
I only saw like a short.
You mean in terms of he was just incoherent?
It's not only that; it's the way O'Donnell handled the interview. It's first of all, corporate media is a dying entity. I think we all know that.
They're both dying entities facing each other, trying to both claw for survival. That's what that would be. You've got the democratic institution against the mainstream media institution, and all of us have seen behind the curtain, and they're all just sort of clawing to stay in charge.
And as Wanker says, and he's absolutely correct, no one that I can really think of in the Democratic Senate in particular really pushed for the war in Iraq as hard as Biden did. He really was on board with that. Hillary, of course, was on board with it in very prophetic fashion too.
I really wish we had a clip of, I don't know where you guys did, but for anybody who was watching Trump give his speech, Bill Clinton was just the best behind him. And I felt like it was sort of cut off of that clip. Bill was Trump was saying the most off the wall, ridiculous shit. And Bill Clinton was just sitting there with this big ass smile on his face. It was like psychotic.
Yeah, it's yeah, I'm totally responsible for that.
Good politics guy. Oh, Mac. He's great.
Mac. Yep. And you're right.
Great. What is
Colanello,
he?
Colanello, you're not breaking any headlines. They are all
this. We don't like any of these people. That's why I don't understand debating which are the better and not better presidents. Again, that's like asking me my favorite venereal disease. There is no it's where we love to have this dichotomy. We love tribalism. We love teams. We everybody has to have a bad guy. Everybody has to have a hero. That's just how we work. And it is so fascinating to me to have conversations with people and try to explain to them how both people can be the bad guy. That can be a thing. Both outcomes could be bad. That's also a thing. And for some reason, people just cannot wrap their head around this kind of multiverse, as opposed to this complete, everything has to be two teams, two sides, red, blue, black, white, everything has to be So I don't know.
If anybody's breaking through on that, it is Trump, because he really is just going to walk to the beat of his own drum. I give a lot of credit to Chappelle for addressing the fact that Trump is who he is, but that maybe there is humanity in there that he thinks he can get to.
I think, and we've said it before, and I do truly believe this, that Trump wants to be liked.
He does.
And when he was giving his speech, he was specifically speaking to the auto workers and the labor people and making a reference that, that he wants to, I think, look, Sean O'Brien had an impact there. And, he wants them, those are the kind of guys Trump like him. He wants to be popular with the people like the Teamsters and all that. Of course he does. Don't be ridiculous.
He does.
So I think that's potentially, beneficial to us.